Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're talking about the Atari 2600, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Switch, Tekken 2, and Flipnote. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx. Now this update is just a quick one. Ryujinx is now on version 1.1.147. And this latest update introduces some GPU, I would say, improvements. It fixes the missing crowd in Mario Strikers Battle League. Next up, we're still talking about Switch emulation, but we're moving over to Android with Skyline, and this update is also pretty quick. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which was running at just a few frames a second about a month or two ago, is now running close to 20 frames a second. The top screen here is in docked mode, and the bottom screen is in handheld mode. It looks like handheld mode is running a lot better for some reason. Now, some people might roll their eyes at a game going from a few frames a second up to close to 20 frames a second, considering it's still not running at full speed. But I've got two things to say about that. Number one, sometimes these improvements don't stick to just one game. They apply to multiple games. And secondly here, going from a few frames a second close to 20 is a massive improvement, especially in just a few months. If it only took a few months to get this kind of improvement, just think what Skyline's going to look like a few months from now. Moving on now, and we're talking about Atari 2600 emulation with Stella. Yes, emulation for the 2600 is still ongoing. In fact, Stella just got a brand new release. Stella is available for Windows, Linux, and Mac as a standalone version or as a RetroArch core. And Stella 6.7 was just released. This update is actually pretty big. They completely reworked the file launcher, they've added hotkey displays to tooltips, they've improved the controller mappings for the paddles as well as the driving controllers. On top of that, they've got some bug fixes here, and they've added in support for Apple's M1 chip. Stella is considered donationware, and it is available on GitHub. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Next up here, we're talking about Tekken 2 on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and this is a fun piece of news unless you pick the game up for this price. Someone at Sony may have screwed up just a little bit and priced the game out for $9,999. What a deal! This got the attention of a ton of people, including the director and producer of Tekken, Harada himself. Next up here, we're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android with Citra, just not the Citra that's available on the Google Play Store. We're talking about Citra MMJ. The fork of Citra that's free and open source, geared towards performance as opposed to emulation accuracy. Citra MMJ just got a brand new release. It was released about an hour ago. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. At a high level here, this update has some bug fixes, and it also reduces the memory footprint of custom textures. You might want to check this one out. Last up here, we're talking about the Nintendo DS kind of with Flipnote. If you had a DS or a DSi or even a 3DS, chances are you are familiar in some way, shape, or form with Flipnote. There's an archive I wasn't aware about before. It's called archive.sudomemo.net. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And it's an archive of all of the Flipnotes, 44 million of them in total. There's 1.2 million creators and a total of 12 terabytes of data. Now, if by chance you are a huge fan of Flipnote, they are looking for support, and if you want to learn more about it, check out the link in the description below. Or if you just want to take a look at some old Flipnotes, you absolutely can. Check out the link in the description below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts on anything we talked about today in the comments below, and we did talk about quite a bit. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.